stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream. I'm at the bottom of the ocean. I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream. I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
There's a lot of tough talk on Twitter, but there's not a lot of real talk.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Somebody who's never been around.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy. Had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar. A straight-up omelet bar. And now look. My former interns tossing me down a bottomless freaking pit. You know, come to think of it, my whole life has been a series of what the moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
Yeah, you said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Oh, yeah.
Break 'em off some.
Break 'em off some. I am your host. You know what that means, right? Shipwreck. It's going to be a fun night. Oh, man. Rocking the gunner seat is, of course, our other co-master of none. That's right. Oh, man. It's been a busy freaking weekend and an interesting news day. I would like to welcome you guys and gals to WTF Nation Radio's Monday edition on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio. We're broadcasting 5x5 on all the channels that were up. And yes, I have had my coffee. So if you're listening to us on Twitch, you can go, if you don't like Facebook, you can go to Twitch. If you don't like Twitch, you can go to YouTube. If you don't like Twitter's, or if you don't like anything else, you can go to Twitter's, because I know a lot of middle Twitter like to hang around there because they don't have Facebook accounts. And if you like Facebooks and you just have to have the Facebook accounts, we're on 2 Facebook pages: U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio. There you go. Those are the and of course we can always go. You can always go on the TuneIn app and all the other apps that are out there. There are about 14 of them. If you'd like to find out, just go ahead. I think we're going to put that. I think the guys are going to do a graphic to post them all up of where you can listen to us podcasted, live casted, broadcast, and rebroadcasted. And of course, there is a WTFNationRadio.com. You just click the little right button up there on the top, and you can listen to us live. And of course, there'll be a little bit of a delay because of the signaling and all the cybering and all the stuff that we're doing to ensure that we don't get, people don't look for it. Hey, you know what? We can watch. We were thinking about doing a MySpace one. We were thinking about it, but I know some of the olds right now. There's some depends. I don't know. Would you guys listen to us if we were on? Would you listen to us if we were on MySpace? I was like,
MySpace is still around.
Yeah, I'll have to say.
I haven't checked in a while.
Yeah, I haven't checked. Yeah, I'll check and see if my old account is up there, man. I think I might have deleted it or something like that from way back in the day, because that was the only platform that actually taught you how to do coding. Yeah, there was the actual coding and how to write scripts and stuff like that. And you had intro music as soon as your site went up. It just started blaring some music or whatever. So, yeah, man. So, what was that? Oh, I see some comments in there already about, does ICE recognize D-Day more than the president? I don't know. I'm not really paying attention to the president right now. I mean, is he? Did he say anything about D-Day? I mean, did he?
I didn't hear much.
I know.
I just heard have a good weekend.
Well, yeah. Did he say? I know there was for Memorial Day. I know there were some pictures, and I have receipts of him visiting Arlington. But it was a private visit, so it wasn't like it was broadcasted. And I had some individuals who were there that were able to provide such a photographic evidence. Which is why, like I said, I didn't really say much about him being in Arlington. It was very low key, and then also he gave a speech. That was the more public one, but so he visited, but he didn't do. I don't think he did an acknowledgement though to D-Day. That's just me. But I've not paid attention, man. I mean, did you? Is he? What's your? Which I'm just thinking.
I didn't catch his speech, but I did hear that he had a low-profile meet and greet with some families at the cemetery there. But
right, but I'm talking about D-Day.
No, I haven't really heard much about D-Day from DC area.
Yeah.
All I heard was have a good weekend.
Yeah, I think both of the president and the vice president had some people make some commentary about their post on Twitter, saying that enjoy your long weekend or something like that, to that effect.
Yeah, it was like that.
Yeah,
Can't quote me straight, but
right. And people got upset because he just said have a long weekend, Harris did, but he didn't. Okay, so was it the long weekend though? Wasn't for D-Day though. It was for Memorial Day. I think are we getting our holidays confused or commemorative? It was the 76th anniversary, 77th anniversary of the landing of D-Day. And of course, if you go on to,
those are different dates.
Yeah, well, obviously, because it was June 4th or June 6th. And then, if you've gone on to WTF Nation Radio's Facebook page, you'd have seen all the real quick spots and, from our own post to the U.S. Army Europe post to the 82nd post and then the 101st. But yeah, it's did he say or not say something or whatever? I don't know. I appreciate you shout D-Max. I don't need to hear about your we don't need to hear about your testicular freaking carriage there. You see what he posted in there? Talking about you have some bad news about something about his wisdom teeth. Didn't do anything stupid, but a week later he got his balls cut open or something like that, and there's a cyst going back there, dude. I mean, I feel. I mean, ouch. I mean, sorry, bro. I mean, that sucks. Let us know how you make sure you're okay. I mean,
Thinking about that puts me in pain.
yeah, I'm just kind of. I'm literally sitting. Yeah. I'm just kind of thinking like, man, dude. I was just kind of like, wow, I don't appreciate, thanks, appreciate it. But did you guys both know that Biden and Harris served in the military? Biden was retired Army and Air Force for 2 years. What? Christopher, what are you talking about, dude? We're just talking about the acknowledgement of the holidays. Everyone got all butt sore about. No acknowledgement. It's almost like everyone's critiquing everybody for fucking everything of what they can or cannot say, and everyone has had every specific event that just anything that's commemorative. Everyone's like, well, the president didn't say something, or the president did say something, or even D. Treasy when he didn't say shit, or he didn't say shit right, or whatever.
Well, that's where it all started, and now everything's coming back. Twice as bad on both sides.
Well, thank you there. I see you guys dropping the Arabic in there without blah 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 ice. Yeah, I see that in there. Yeah, I see that. I can see the squiggles in the chats. No, it's not a big deal. Is it a big deal or is it not a big deal? I mean, you tell me. Do you think it's important that we have? All of our other presidents have acknowledged D-Day, and they have, talked about the Operation Overlord, and they've had commemorative events. But I've only seen units really go for like big events, like U.S. Army Europe, and that type of thing. Am I making sense? Is that making sense? I mean,
they've always made big events overseas with it, but most of the administrations have gave knowledge about it. Like giving tribute or a moment to it here in the States. And
right.
then most of the military units do a big thing about it, and that's all I've really seen in the past.
Well, I don't, in other words, I do see it as an important event in history that, and it's just me, that at least our government should acknowledge. Yes. Like Christopher said, it should be important. It's very important. It should have, to acknowledge the landing of Normandy. That's a big freaking deal, dude. I mean, that was a lot of lives lost, and it was the turn of the tide against the Fortress Europe. You know what I mean? 160,000 soldiers landed on. It's like more than 12,000 parachute infantry and stuff like that, and then the landing, of course. So I mean, come on, man. It's like that's some 50-mile stretch of heavily fortified French coastline against the Germans. You know what I mean? That's
50 miles of worse than hell.
Right, and then it was like 5,300 Allied ships with landing craft dropping off 175 personnel too. That's a lot of that, dude. That is a lot of. That's a lot of freedom coming at you. Right, exactly. That's a lot of freedom coming at you. So yeah, again, so everyone's saying, yep, it's important. I'm seeing all the chats in here. Everyone's yep, it's important. Yep, so it is important. Yeah, I think it's important too. So, but how was your weekend, man?
Oh, my weekend? Anybody got any adult Play-Doh?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then, next topic.
My Master Beast computer I got here. The motherboard decided to go out on me, and then I get a freaking new motherboard in, and it was dead on delivery. So I'm kind of pissed off that I could use my backup computer.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, especially when you spend a whole day trying to get it to work correctly.
No, I hear you. No, I gotcha. No, we run a lot of tech here at the station, and it is a pain in the ass, and it's very frustrating when you think you got it, knocked out and it's good to go, and it's not. Yeah, very frustrating.
It's not that I'm really upset about it. I'm just upset that I wasted a day and a half on this fucker when I could have been doing something else.
Oh, I hear you. Oh well, I mean, I had a pretty chill weekend. Just chilled out and hung out with the fam. It was Baby Ice's. We celebrated Baby Ice's birthday over the weekend. So, yeah, he's a little older, and now he's going on to 16 years old. He is turning into a teenager. And he's already growing tall, so he already has a mouth and an attitude that goes along with it, man. So I'm just like, Jesus, man, you little shit. Well, you heard him.
Well, you better get a razor.
you heard him right before we went on air. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm about ready to go on air. You going on radio? I'm like, yes, I'm going on radio. I was like, oh, you little shit, you little smartass. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, yeah, dude, it was a chill weekend. But other than that, on the news, I want to talk about this. But first off, dude, I just literally just happened just a couple hours ago. You guys know there's like a border crisis. No one's not gonna. There's no denying. If you're turning a blind eye to the border, you're both parties. You're both blind. Yeah. You shouldn't. The vice president today had a message during a joint press conference with Guatemalan President Alejandro Giammattei, and had a message for Central Americans considering to illegal migrating to the United States. Quote, "Do not come. We will discourage illegal migration," she commented, "and the United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our borders. There are legal methods in which migration can and should occur." Unquote. What the hell's going on, dude? Did you see that? Did you see that briefing? That press
I saw that she had a good welcoming home audience and signs.
Oh, really? Did she? I didn't see that. Oh, I didn't see that. But yeah, so the Biden administration has been taking a tepid rhetorical stance. What news source is this? This is the National Review. Yeah, so that way when people think I'm just making this shit up. Has rolled back
we never.
Well, I mean, just people automatically go, "Oh, you're spreading blah blah blah." Just read the news, man. Just read the news. Prompting a massive influx of unauthorized migrants, including unaccompanied minors, to seek entry at the southern border. President Joe Biden recently announced that the U.S. plans to dramatically expand refugee admissions ceiling to 62,500 for this fiscal year. And the administration also declared last month it intends to sign an emergency declaration to expedite prospective refugee processing. And she went on to say that if you come to our border, you will be turned back, unquote. But the Biden administration eliminated Trump-era migrant protection protocols, which required asylum seekers to remain in Mexico while their claims are being adjudicated. Dude, it's a mess. It's all a mess. All of it. It was a mess. It was a mess when D. Treasy was in office, and it's a mess now. You know what I mean? I think before the new administration came in, they were still having issues with immigration and crossings of the border and stuff like that. But I didn't really see. It's always been like that. It's been flowing there. But she's everyone's like, okay, she can't be in a desert type of place.
The border's always been messed up.
It's always big time. Well, I mean, we're gonna have to face reality that this. I mean, when she says it, when this administration finally is saying, "Hey, you need to, like, don't come. Y'all need to wait." Yeah, it's bursting at the seams.
You got to acknowledge that you got an issue first before you can try to resolve it.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that. I mean, no, I'm serious. I just at this point in the game, they're already 100 days in, right? So, she even quoted. She continued to say that, quote, "Let's discourage our friends, neighbors, and our family members from embarking on what's otherwise an extremely dangerous journey. And in large part, only the people who benefit are coyotes," which is true. If you're crossing over the border and you're getting paid, coyote's gonna pay you. Did you see those little kids getting left behind? Did you see that one where the kids got dropped off over the fence?
Oh yeah.
And then there was another one where there was like a group of little girls that were just found next to a rock or something like that. So it's crazy. It's insane.
Well, they're riding those coyotes without a saddle, so, four-legged animal.
Not those coyotes, dude. Why are you trying to...
I had to for a good laugh.
You're trying to bust out the... we're trying to bust out the laughs there? Yeah, I know what you're saying. There was a couple memes that Kaz pulled up from last time. The coyotes happening or something like that. He says maybe some kind of barrier might help. You mean a border wall? Exactly that. Republican critics contend that there's been international White House effort to disassociate Harris with a border assignment. Oh yeah, that's right. She was put in charge to go on there. She was supposed to have gone on. President did say that he's making her responsible for the border stuff.
Yep.
But during the briefing, she touched on some areas for improvement in Guatemala that would help deter migration, like U.S. Entrepreneurial investment, anti-corruption initiatives, climate action, and other categories, suggesting a nation-building generally. And that's from the National Review. And I'm just reading some stuff like that. People are going to be, people will be all pissed off and say, "Oh, you're spreading." No. This is kind of like what it needs to happen. You kind of need to have this. I mean, a lot of talk is not happening. I wonder what the Border Patrol. I haven't watched much news, seeing what the Border Patrol guys are going through. Have you seen any of that?
Well, firsthand knowledge, they're going through hell. Working long hours, more than usual. They're trying to think how I can say it. They're holding bays to keep people safe is past fire marshal requirements.
Oh, you're talking about the I mean, I don't want to sound, they're almost like detainee facilities or something like that. Migrant holding facilities. What are we calling them now? Migrant facilities or camps or detainees?
You're talking about immigration camps that are under ICE. And then you have Border Patrol that has their basically NDOC, like your local police department have like holding cells. You can only have so many per cell area. They're like temporary holding to start paperwork on the individuals, background checks, stuff like that. Those are past the safety protocols that a fire marshal would say, "Hey, you're over your limit here." So
yeah, I think that. Yeah, you're right. Because I remember sometime back in March that there were some pictures that were leaked out. How some of these facilities were over capacity. Because like you were saying, some agencies only handle, like you said, holding, and the other one handles like for long term. I'm telling you, man, that they should just build a hard stand facility down there. So that way you have one side of it over the border, one side over in the border, and then just they're there, right there, and it's all managed. Almost like a Southwest Ellis Island or something like that. You know what I mean? That's where
just do a roundabout, big giant circle.
That's what I'm
half
saying.
On Mexico, half on the United States.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just build a big giant facility where matter of fact, where the border wall would connect to the other wall.
Yeah, you put a border wall in, and then put these every so many.
Yeah.
Connectors,
right?
And
you just walk up. Yeah, you just walk up to the building, open up the glass doors, and hi, how can we help you today? I'd like to come inside and okay, well, let's go ahead and take some biometrics here. Let's do some fingerprints. Let's do some,
And go talk to our concierge over there.
Yeah, go talk. Yeah, no, I'm serious. Yeah, exactly. Get them all. Okay, we're gonna have sit you down once you're cleared. Here is an individual tax ID number, so that way it's almost like a social security number. So that way you can, if you want, you get a job and you're able to, use that to pay taxes, and then you have this, and then we'll go ahead and process you for this. And then, do you have any job play? I mean, really, the whole cycle of it will lend itself to a better resource than just capturing people, throwing them in freaking jails, throwing them in freaking holding cells, and then just letting them go or not letting them go, or then wasting money. I think that money flying them back if you let them in, and then of course if they mess up or they screw up or something like that, then of course they get deported. I mean, I don't understand how difficult this can be. It's like it's not that difficult at all.
I think they got too many chiefs and not enough Indians involved with the border issues.
Right. And exactly that. Christopher's got a good point, is that the 5% of the infrastructure bill would go to border security while the rest of the bill would go to foreign aid. And that's something that pisses me off too. Man, Congress has got to... It's like there's not one thing that Congress can just pass without something just hanging on to it that adds other stuff to it. It just...
The only way they get stuff passed is they gotta scratch one person's back to scratch the other
one. Right.
You see the damn thing pass, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and they're all sitting in a room. I'm telling you what, Congress are like divorce lawyers, man. You think they're gonna hook you? I'm serious. You think they're gonna hook you up? You think that you're gonna get your best interest looking for it, and meanwhile they're like, hey, hang on for a sec. And they both they both will leave you in a cold room, so that way you can think it over, cool down a little bit. And then they go talk to the opposing lawyer, your ex's lawyer, and those two are shooting the shit. Okay, so what does he want? Or what does she want? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we want this, we want that. Okay, how about we do this? Hey, come on, let's hurry up, man. Don't you want to go play some golf? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, you want to go drink afterwards? And that's what they do. They all do that spending. If there was just one specific narrowed down, like you said, man, there's just too many people in charge, and there's not enough people to actually have the oversight to see what step of the process. I don't want to sound like I want to do it, but I want to go over the border and then come across the border and see what happens to me. Will I get in trouble if I do that? Well, like if I go to the border and then I just start walking around and then I run, and try to, what would happen to me if I did that? What would be my Do you think the Border Patrol would hem me up and flexi cuff me?
Yeah.
And then I'm not saying anything, and I only speak Spanish and just see how, how far I can get processed before they find out that oh, well, this dude's an American, and I'll sit there, man. I will play the role and no hablo inglés. I'll just sit there and see how the process would work, and then right before they were ready to book me or something like that, I'd be like, ha, here. I'm an American. Here you go. Now, this is where you guys are doing it wrong, and this is what we're doing. There's got to be...
And then they're going to go, by the way, we're charging you for unlawful entry.
Yeah, we're going to charge you for unlawful entry, obstruction of justice. But, dude, something's got to give on this.
Oh, yeah.
Something's got to give on this, because some of these facilities, like you were saying, Shipwreck, just built half of it over the border, half of it over the inside of the United States, half of it over Mexico, and just have, like you said, just like a roundabout thing. Just like you show up to the door, open up, you get processed and all that stuff, and get it blah, 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 blah. Names registered. We're able to have accurate numbers to do it, and it's legal, and you don't have to worry about, make it to where it's accommodating to that way someone wants to come over and they want to do it, then do it. Then, of course, if they fail to those obligations of them coming over on a temporary status, then they get deported. I don't understand why everyone gets so freaking mad about this stuff and it gets so charged about this. You know what I mean? And then it goes back and forth. So, but the thing is that if you can't do that in other countries without getting slammed. You know what I mean? So it's a subject that people just, it's hard to have a conversation with it because they immediately think that you're being heartless about it, and it's almost like you think about these unaccompanied kids that go up there, and I don't understand I don't know. There's got to be something serious going on that would make you want to put your kid by themselves with complete strangers and then have them go up by themselves. It's a legit issue, man. So, but yeah, what can you do? aside from, like you said, just let's build a Southwest Ellis Island, make it work. But,
yeah, Mexico paid part of it.
Yeah, no, you have to think about it. Someone's like him, it's only politicians are in it for the money. They're more interested in lining their pockets, and it's corrupt. Yeah, dude, it is. You can't ever get any partisan. Oh, there you go. See, but partisan politics and corruption get in the way. Dude, it's a lot of stuff with that happening right now. They can't pass a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to voter reform. When it comes to a lot of these bills you're seeing, you're just like, dude, man. See, there you go. Yeah, Scott's got a good point too. A voucher system would be dope. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Where a person you vouch for fucks up, you're kind of responsible for someone. Yeah, that's a really good point, Scott.
They already got a system like that where, especially with the minors, if they got someone they could contact in the U.S. and say, yeah, I know that person, their family, I'll be responsible for them. They already have that for minors and females, I believe, too, on females, but don't quote me 100% on the female part. But.
Yeah. Stefan says that I don't understand why people complain about they're taking our jobs when businesses where I live has a hiring sign. And that's a good point too. That's a real good point. But anyways, yeah. So more to follow on that. Of course, this is a pretty charged topic. It's really hard to discuss it without dancing around certain things because people get, like I said, people get upset. What are you trying to do? You're trying to do. Well, no. I mean, we still have veterans that have been deported that aren't that I think deserve a little bit more more attention to. I think the veterans need to get taken care of first. It gets mad. People get mad when I say, "Hey, you're against immigration." I'm not. Hell no, man. Hell no. But the veteran topic always gets me a little charged up because of what we see our veterans are not are not getting and all that, and then I'm seeing shit like this. Well, maybe you should have. But anyways. Everyone's like, yeah, 90-day waiver policy. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. 90 days. Sometimes it doesn't even have that. A clean bill, exactly. Like when the government was shut down, exactly. They introduced a clean bill that was going to make the coasters that got paid, but instead said it was the Orange Man's fault for having to shut down. I'm guessing Orange Man is D. Treasy, the former president. Why are people afraid of saying Donald Trump? I think they're worried about their Facebook pages.
Keyword.
Yeah. it's like nobody wants to say Donald. Nobody. The next thing you know, you mean like, did you hear that? He said Donald Trump on there.
Yeah, I love the twins.
Yeah, exactly that, D-Max. Why would I be opposed of this when my first language isn't even English? So, exactly. People get mad, man. They're like, oh, Orange Man. Exactly that, Gary. You serve in this country. It should automatically be once you serve a good, honorable enlistment, or you serve an enlistment, then that's it. You're on the road to citizenship.
Well, they have that now, but a lot of people fell on their end to start the paperwork for that.
Yeah, but see,
all on the individual.
Come on, dude. Yeah, but see, man. Okay, we'll talk about this. A long time ago, the main page, we did a story. We did our first, and we worked with a national, congressman, and worked a story with some members, and we kind of used. It was almost not really an undercover. It wasn't an undercover, expose, but it discussed, veterans that are deported overseas, and or deported. I should say not deported back to Mexico, or deported to out of the country, and they come back up through Mexico. A lot of it, think about this, were some of the things that had to do with PTSD, right? So when somebody fucks up in the veteran community, everyone likes to say PTSD, and everyone wants to give that individual a pass, right?
Right.
And then they get taken care of. So what would be the difference of a veteran who served their country and they were discharged, or they're medically discharged, or they're honorably discharged, and they fuck up on their visa stuff, or they fucks up on their immigration stuff? What would be the difference to provide them the same leniency if they were going through PTSD? That's why, to me, it's like really, really, really freaking. It's not that cut and dry as much as everybody says. Well, you should have known that you should have done this and dear. But I shouldn't.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Because think about it. There's individuals there's individuals right now that are American citizens that fuck up so much, and they're veterans. And what do we have now? We have veteran courts. we have a different type of, I mean, kind of think about it. We have a different type of legal system when you think about it for veterans, right? So why is it different? Any different for these guys that are over across the border right now in basically they call it a team house? I think I'm gonna post that back up again. We posted it a long time ago. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna post that back up on the main page or the radio page to discuss that. But Gary's got a good point. You should. That's automatic. I don't want to sound like Starship Troopers, but you know what I mean. Service guarantees citizenship. Would you like to know more? After ICE has had his 5th cup of coffee. Oh man, but yeah, it's a touchy subject. People get really wrapped around the. I don't know why people get wrapped around the axle for some of this shit. It's not affecting you. Because they're trying to take our gerbs. He took our memes. I'm so fucking laughing about the damn about that Humvee meme. But anyways, to the next story. I think we beat this dead horse, but I'm sure again once we have an update. All right, real quick. Okay, this is like some this is some like Second Amendment stuff, man. Did you hear about what happened in California, bro? Man.
Yeah, I can't believe that what happened over there,
dude. Yeah, exactly.
So, are you going to move to California now?
No. No, because I always see it here. The legal system in states are like the military leadership system. Yeah, the higher-ups may have put something out, but it's the mid-grade officers and the NCOs and leaders that don't enforce it or say, I don't see it in writing. That's the thing that would worry me. That all of a sudden everyone's going to come out of the woodwork. Maybe it's a trap. That everyone would come out of the woodwork and say, yeah, here we go. Here's all my freedom devices. And then they'll be like, psych, you're all under arrest for having illegal weapons and blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the story. A judge in California overturns the assault weapons ban. Has overturned the state's ban on assault weapons, describing the popular AR-15 rifle as a, quote, good for both home and battle. Dude. I was like, when I read that quote, I was like, wow, good for both home and battle. The AR-15. Get you some. I think it's cool shit. Federal Judge Roger Benitez said that the law went against the constitutional Second Amendment right to bear arms. Judge Benitez found that the way California defines military style rifles, you should say, deprives the state residents of weapons allowed elsewhere in the U.S. Governor Gavin Newsom was like pissed. He said, "This is a threat to public safety."
Like the Swiss Army.
Like it wasn't safe already. California Attorney General Rob Bonta said that the authorities would appeal against the decision in which the judge has suspended for 30 days to allow for the appeal to be lodged. So in an opening to his ruling, Judge Benitez wrote, quote, this is fun, this was got everyone pissed off, quote, like the Swiss Army knife. The popular AR-15 rifle is a perfect combination of home defense weapon and homeland defense equipment. Good for both home and battle. That's just the way that sounds. It just sounds badass.
Well, I'm kind of worried about how they put in there, like, home and battle.
And home and battle.
I'm worried about the and battle where that can come back and bite for other future...
Well, for other future cases when somebody says this is a weapon of war and they're going to use that judges... Yeah. I see what you're saying. He said that the current California legislation banned, quote, fairly ordinary, popular, and modern rifles, unquote. This case is not about the extraordinary weapons lying on the outer limits of the Second Amendment protection. The banned assault weapons are not bazookas, howitzers, or machine guns. Those arms are dangerous and solely used for military purposes, quote, the ruling said. In a preliminary decision last year, the judge said that California's complex definition of assault weapons meant ordinary gun owners could unwittingly end up owning an illegal firearm. You damn right. I gotta ask family when I go visit in California. Where you want to go hang out? No. Me crossing the border would already violate so many freaking laws. And it would be my luck they'd find out. Oh yeah, okay, ICE is here. Let's But anyways, so Governor Newsom, a Democrat, described the ruling as a slap in the face to the families who's lost loved ones to this weapon. The Justice Department officials had defended the law, saying that the assault weapons was more dangerous and often used by criminals in mass shootings. Friday's ruling followed a lawsuit filed in 2019 by a range of gun advocacy groups, and they claim that California law means that gun owners cannot use high-capacity magazines on normal rifles without falling foul of the assault weapons ban. The first assault weapons restrictions were introduced in California in 1989, and the state has had some of the tightest curbs on firearms in the U.S. The ruling came amid continuing concern about U.S. gun violence, which President Joe Biden has described as a pandemic. And of course, there was a mass shooting only last month where an employee at a rail yard in San Jose killed 9 people before turning the gun on himself. So, there you go. Nobody likes freedom devices. And it was like the freaking Swiss Army knife.
All you need is some duct tape and
you could hurt yourself on a Swiss Army knife. You know that, right? If you don't know how to use it. I mean, isn't that...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just funny.
It's just funny the way they say that. It was like, oh, well, you know, they have the Swiss Army knife. I just want to know exactly that. If they only knew how many... I want to know the numbers. Numbers carried out.
Well, you know who appointed that judge, don't you?
Who?
George W. Bush.
Hey, thanks, Shipwreck, for giving me some advice. Good, a good shout out. I appreciate it.
I figured you would like that one.
Oh man, I just think it's people are losing their shit over this stuff, and this is a slap. Yeah, it's almost like Fords. It's a slap in the face for everybody who gets made fun of Fords for having a Ford, or being killed in a Ford, or having have caused accidents, or have been caught by faulty Ford equipment.
Well, it's a big slap in the face with the current administration too.
Well, it's a slap in the
finger.
It's a slap in the face of individuals who couldn't defend themselves.
Yeah. Very true.
Everyone, goes back and forth and says, how could you sit there and like, well, I just don't think that that's I don't know. To me, it's not a big. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but I just think that having the conversation of assault weapons and AR-15s and all that, there was I got people looking at me when I tweeted some stuff out, and about assault weapons. Somebody said that nobody needs an AR-15, and I'm like.
Where's the word assault on my firearm?
He said something like good people don't need AR-15s. That's what he said, and I responded with good people don't need an AR-15. They need about 4 of them, with parts and stuff. People were like, what? Friends don't let friends drive Fords. Oh yeah, dude. So again, I'm. The discussion of just Second Amendment stuff, man. It's just like you can't. Everyone likes to say, well, the founding fathers didn't expect to have these type of weapons, and well, the founding fathers didn't expect us to have Twitter and freaking Facebook and all this other shit too. But look what we got now. Do you want to do that? Do you just want to go ahead and just kill those? We'll kill them.
You know how to mute that argument, don't you?
How do you mute the argument, dude? They're going to continue.
Back then they had cannonball systems, which were a lot more deadlier than a musket.
I want to blunder.
They had that freedom to have that in their front yard.
Exactly. As the founders intended, I want to blunderbuss. Just open up the disc. Wah! This shit's like freaking hilarious. Everyone gets so mad about this stuff. It's like some vitriol shit. But again, anyways, so that's the status of that one. Well, I guess we'll see what happens when the appeal goes through. Obviously, it's going to get appealed, and people are freaking out, and they're already saying. And again, the judge is going to give 30 days for them to lodge their appeal, and then after that, more than likely, it's going to be lifted.
Oh, guess who's the House representative of that thing?
Who? Oh, you're talking about Nancy Pelosi?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
You know her dentures fell out. I don't know if she has or not. I'm just Just saying she probably does.
Shipwreck. All the discussions we have here are purely opinion and not never reflecting the U.S. Army WTF moments or WTF Nation Radio. Pure hyperbole in legal sense, and of course, anybody wanted to take us seriously about it. We should just go ahead and file for news status or something like that. We want to say we're a news source and see people flip their wig over that one too. WTF Nation Radio is now considered an official news source. Man, people would freak out.
That's a double-sided sword there. I don't know if I want to do that or not.
I know, man, because you can't break balls and shit. Can you? I mean, well, you could talk crap about other news agencies, right? Since they like to talk about each other, we can just sit there and, you know. I mean, they do. I mean, when you think about it, though, a lot of the acts and a lot of the stuff that we've seen, a lot of the crimes that are committed, I think aren't even done with the AR-15. Though I think wasn't you that was telling me that they're mostly done by pistols and stuff.
Yeah, you can get I believe it's an AR-10 or something like that. It's an actual pistol made up based off of an AR.
Oh, you know, that's another thing too. You're talking about braces, right?
Yeah, the braces.
Pistol braces and AR pistols. Do you have one of those? Oh, I shouldn't say that. Have you seen?
I had a boating accident last week, so I gotta go buy new devices.
I've had some. Well, I mean, it's basically a stabilizing brace that goes on your arm, so that way you could fire it and hold it up, and it's not because it is set up like a pistol. I need to get some gun aficionados to come on air and shoot the shit about some.
No, correcting me. The AR-10 is the 308 version.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, you're talking about. Well, I mean, there's Smith & Wesson. There's Smith & Wesson, Springfield, Radical Arms, Foxtrot. I'm not saying that I'm currently looking for a specific type of freedom device. Sig Sauer, of course. SIGs. I'm kind of like a SIG and HK and a Kimber man myself. So maybe looking at someone's talking to somebody about a Smith & Wesson too. So maybe a Glock. I don't know. I'm thinking about just collecting up some freedom devices. 'Cause you never know. I might have to pack it in a boat. You never know. But so, anyways, the pistol. Yeah, these are rifles. They look like short-barreled rifles. Is what they look. What some people say they look like. But there was the ATF said that it was.
It could be considered a buck stock.
Yeah, it could be considered. Yeah, the way it's
the way around the short barrel law.
Right.
Is what they're trying to say.
Right. Exactly. I wonder if we're gonna get like zucked, because the last time we talked about guns and stuff, we got zucked. So I want to make sure that we didn't get too much.
Hey, we're talking about current events. We're just recapping.
Yeah, we're just recapping. But it's Anthony says that the AR-15 is the most comfortable weapon for me because I'm used to it, hunt with it, and it works for me. And I have it at my home. If an intruder comes in, and they will get a bullet just the same way as the animals I hunt. And that's a good thing too. I know there's a big debate between individuals using an AR for home defense. Man, I gotta get some firearms aficionados to come on here and shoot the shit with me.
Well, what I use for my home defense is a shotgun, so that's how I use my home defense.
Well, for the kids, they are proficient in pump action 12 gauge shotguns, and it's only because it's all they got to do is just rack it and pull the trigger, and then of course, depending where you're at in the house, you might depends what caliber too. So you can just imagine all this stuff happening. Somebody breaks in the house, and then you get pewed, and the next thing you know, a 12-year-old comes by and racks a freaking 12 gauge in your face. Oh, whoa! What was that? AR-15 is good to teach kids the proper way, or pineapple pizza. What is wrong? What is wrong with pineapple pizza? Pineapple, pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapeno. Somebody's already choosing violence right now, huh, Heath? Is that what it is? Are you saying you're not for pineapple pizza? Pineapple topped pizza, pineapple, pepperoni, and jalapenos. That's like the best pizza ever, man.
That takes a special unique character to do the pineapple pizza.
Really? Oh man, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, throw some jalapenos on there, man. Jalapeno pizza, and then put some pineapples on there, bro. Man, you know what you're missing, son.
What are you gonna do? Dip it in cocktail sauce?
Whoa! No, that's a war crime right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a war crime right there. That's that's a total war crime. It's like when people like to dip ranch in and stuff like that. I could see some breadsticks or something like that. But yeah.
Ranch and fries are pretty good now.
Oh yeah, they are good. That's more. I've noticed from people out west tend to eat fries like that as opposed to anybody else. Ooh, diced habaneros too. Yeah, that'll work, man. Hell yeah. See, now I'm getting hungry while I'm sitting there getting hyper on my second cup of Bustelo Frio.
You're on your second.
Yeah, dude.
I'm working towards the fourth already.
Well, I got it's a big tumbler. But I got yeah, exactly. Ranch on Pop-Tarts. Ew, that's gross. So disgusting. I prefer sheer iron sights, and I'm used to it. Yeah, see, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. Again, man, I've seen different rigs with with the peep sight like that or reflex sight. L-can is fine. I know. I've talked to some friends about using an L-can, and it's all preference, man. But when someone's coming into your house and they're like stumbling around, man, it just like. Yeah, so there's like
12-gauge shotgun.
Yeah, there's like open flailings. Like there's battle drills in the house that we have, so that way in the event something happens and the zombies come, that the kids know what to do. All I gotta do is get.
Wait, I got my system set up. I'm covered by everything.
I got interlocking fields of fire, man. Interlocking fields of fire, and then of course, and then Baby Ice will wheel out the mini cannon and just fire one cannon.
No, I have mine to escalate the threat. So I got like a number 9 bird shot. And I got my 7 buck shot, my double op bug, my triple op bug, my slug.
I've heard of that. I need to try that. I tried to do a combination. I usually fire double op bug when I'm racking on some shotgun rounds, but I wonder how would it be to kind of blast
Well, I look at it as like escalation of deadly force.
So you're using birdshot, and then you rack you rack run round, and you fire a birdshot, and the next thing you know, when you rack the second round, it's a double op buck, and then when you rack the next round after you fire it, then it's a slug.
I'm escalating my threat.
Yeah, exactly.
That stop.
Yeah.
And then if you're pointing in the middle of the night in a certain direction, you're not worried about going through to your kid's room too.
Yeah. No, Mike, we have no. It's just like put it this way: if they are lucky to get past the hallway, they're gonna get. And then Baby Ice rolls out the cannon. He's gonna have to light it up. He's gonna like get an old torch and spark it, and it's gonna have a little fuse on it and stuff. You know what I mean?
With the drum.
All of a sudden, all the lights come on around the property, and Ode to Joy comes on and through loudspeakers, and I use PSYOP to scare the hell out of everybody. Anybody who tries to run get hits by claymores and stuff on the way out. Man. Look at the intruders and see what they dropped. Exactly. That's right, Josiah. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so real quick, before we go on a break and then do capture some, do a little bit of a sports scene or a sports story, 2 sports stories actually. Real quick, the FDA has approved Biogen's Alzheimer's drug. Man, did you hear about that, dude? Holy crap, dude, that's insane. It's like after nearly 2 decades of Alzheimer's advancement in medical. That's incredible, dude.
That is. I haven't been keeping up with FDA lately. Like they pissed me off with this whole pandemic. So I kind of closed them off with my news. I got a big for them.
You get, man. I don't even know if I want to go into the topic of discussing that shit, because then if I go into that topic of the Rona, people will be like, "Oh my God, you're spreading conspiracy theories and you took our conspiracy theory." Which, come to find out that some conspiracy theories weren't conspiracy theories.
Some people are coming out going, "Ha ha."
Yeah, exactly. Alzheimer's is a devastating illness that has profound impact in the lives of people diagnosed with the disease as well as their loved ones. Patrizia Cavazzoni, the director of the FDA Center for Drug Evaluation, said in a release that currently available therapies only treat symptoms of the disease. This treatment option is the first therapy to target and the underlying disease process of Alzheimer's. Dude, that's impressive, man.
So they went from treating the symptoms to actually be able to treat like the root cause now.
Right. What they've done is they've used some of the research to fight cancer to use the same pathway for it. So it's just like, this is insane, man. This is like an advancement in I see, that's the thing about stuff like that. If you have, and you guys can chime in too, if you've ever had any issues or any diseases that is terminal or something like that, would you not volunteer? Would you not have any? You know what I mean? If I was diagnosed with a bad, with something terminal, man, I would be knocking on the FDA's outside door, going, all right, what's next? What you got? What pills you got for me today? I would be trying everything, man. I wonder if there's any.
I was offered to be on a couple of studies and trials, and I turned it down for my medical issues. I wasn't going to be that guinea pig.
Well, yeah. I submitted mine. I submitted one for the skeletal one, the skeletal issue and nerves and stuff like that, where for individuals who've had injuries, and I volunteered for that one. I mean, that was straight up only because of the injuries that I've had, and I just think that it's I just think it's awesome. I mean, this is the first in like nearly 2 decades. It just literally just happened like today. And this, I guess, this drug, Alduhelm has been under FDA consideration for approval since November of 2020 when it was reviewed in a committee meeting. And prior to FDA approval, researchers evaluated Alduhelm based on its application in 3 separate studies engaging the effects. Researchers have looked into the amount of amyloid beta plaque in the brain, which is a key sign of Alzheimer's, and FDA officials noted that upon prescription, Alduhelm carried the warning for temporary brain cell, what could cause side effects include headache, confusion, dizziness, vision changes, or nausea. There's still no known cure for Alzheimer's. However, this is a big step. That's crazy, dude. It's a form of dementia, so affects over 6 million Americans. So it's that's pretty impressive. But anyways, we're gonna take a break right quick because we have some sports stories to discuss. Several. I got three stories that I want to talk about. One has to do with actually 4. One has to do with tennis. One has to do with gymnastics. One has to do with boxing, and one has to do with somebody who's related to somebody who is involved in football. So refill your glasses. I'm gonna refill my my Bustelo Frio, so I can continue this ride. And shots. We'll be right back.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Nothing feels the same. Let it all be sirens are going off. Another rocket attack. I've got my boots and got my ammo in my 50-pound sack. Boys headed to war in this world unknown. The only peace of mind I've got are these letters from home. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Well, most of us, we made it home, but we never came back. When we close our eyes at night, we hear a rocket attack. I've tried to talk and tell you about it, but it ain't the same. All these thoughts that run through my head, well, they can't be tamed. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here. We ain't far from Kandahar.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. And ooh, lordy. Last half of the Monday edition, y'all know the deal. If we had a guest, we would be probably having shooting the breeze with a guest right now. But so we're gonna have a weird method of sports paging tonight. I know you said you don't like sports pages. Is that what you're not a sports person? Is that what you said there, shit, right? You're not a.
I'll watch sports and stuff. I just don't keep up with like the names and stats and.
Oh, gotcha.
All of that crap that the experts do out there, the sport nerds.
You're talking about how Flash, how he likes to really get into it, man. When I was like, it's when I listen to Flash talking about sports, I get kind of like in a zone, and I'm just like literally going, wow, dude. He's just like, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. What about this? He's like, no, Ice. That's not what I'm talking about. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about this. I'm like, holy shit, he's a machine, man. Shout out to Flash, man. He will throw the info out. He's big baseball fan, big just like I said, I think it's pretty cool that he gets into sports. But I'm like you, man. I don't mind watching the game, and I am sometimes involved with sports. Like as far as like someone said, hey, you want some tickets to a game? Hell yeah. You know what I mean? I'll go. I'll go to a game. You know what I mean? But I'm not I'm not gonna like sit there and camp out and wait for season tickets and shit like that. But yeah. Anyways, so real quick, and some of the discussions that I like to talk about when it comes to sports is usually how things are affected with the players. You know what I mean? It's how some of the athletes that are involved, what they go through. One of the biggest ones right now that everybody freaking is going nuts about is the fact that there was a tennis player, Naomi Osaka, and she just like pulled from freaking, she just pulled from the French Open, and everyone gave her a bunch of shit because she's like, nah, I don't want to, I don't want to do the press conference, right? And then she got fined for it, and then she's like, okay, well then I'm out. I just think that pressure that an athlete has, especially a tennis player, she feels that she should get out and not do the sport because she's not feeling it, or doesn't want to do a presser. It's kind of like one of those things where you kind of got to respect the player, respect the athlete. There was some people
that respect the individual as a human.
Right, exactly. So
they fined her for not doing a press briefing.
Right. Well, see that all the players, all the tennis players, they have to have they go through a bunch of events. There's some pictures events and stuff like that. So part of the French Open is having a presser, just kind of like, hey, we're gonna talk about this, we're gonna talk about that, and it's almost like how they always do all the tennis stuff, especially when it comes to stuff like that, men and women's tennis. It's it's normal. You will see a presser happen. Well, she's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do a presser because I kind of like want to take care of myself, and freaking the French Open people were like, oh, okay, well, you're going to be fined $15,000 for not appearing at a press conference at the French Open. This is what the tournament organization said. In addition to the fine, she could face harsher penalties if she continues to refuse to speak to the media. Now, this is kind of what I find interesting. If you are a star athlete, or you're a pro athlete, or you're that high vis of an athlete, wouldn't you think that like kind of like the draw to your organization or your sport would to leave that athlete alone if they want to like chill? You know what I mean? It's almost like you're not gonna poke the bear. You're not gonna have
Yeah, you don't want negative feedback.
right because then it's gonna look bad on anything that you do for the organization just because. And she had a legit reason to not sit in the presser. I know there's some times where I feel like I don't want to do shit. And if I don't feel like doing shit, and yeah, I'm not saying I'm not going to play the game. I'm just saying I don't feel like doing the presser. It's just like they really made a big deal about it, and it's they're saying it's a contractual media obligation. So they issued her a fine, and then keeping with the article, they were like, oh, in Article 3H of Code of Conduct, with our contractual media obligations. Freaking said, we're gonna fine her. I was like, dude, really? I mean, it's kind of like at that point, if someone says, hey, I want to take a break for my own well-being, you kind of have to. It's almost like if you're gonna have an injury, right?
Right.
And I don't think that when at that point you have had an again high-vis player coming to a high-vis event, you don't piss off the talent. If the talent is like, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? If the first thing they did, well, she didn't file her. She didn't have it. You know what I mean? If Scott says, oh, okay, so you want me to do the media presser? Okay, fine. No comment. Right. Gary says that they made more press with not wanting to do the presser.
Yep.
So I almost feel like if someone is saying, hey, I don't feel like doing the presser, I'm not doing it, I just need to kind of chill or something like that, or blah, 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 and the stress of the game, or whatever reason that you as an athlete would say, then at that point, shouldn't there be like some sort of clause in there in the contract that says, yeah, okay, we're totally cool. Contractual obligation of excellence.
Especially if it's medical related.
Right, and all the other players, exactly that, Pip, all the other players are sticking up for her.
Good.
Everyone's like, and then of course the way the statement is, quote, she was also, I'm saying this in a fucking downplaying way because that's what it seems like to me. They were downplaying it. They were being mean to her, kind of like, not being concerned about it. She was also reminded of her obligations and the consequences of not meeting them, and the rules should equally apply to all players. Man, you know what? So if I bust my ankle or something like that, or I hurt myself, what they do? Oh yeah, she's out of the hospital. Okay, that person got injured practicing or something like that. They're gonna go. So do they have to do that at that point? So Grand Slam organizations also said that they have informed Osaka to continue refusal to do media appearances will lead to further punishment. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Just leave her the fuck alone. So she withdrew. It's like, done. I'm out of here.
Does that take away the fine?
I don't know. I mean, it's like at that point, I don't think she cares. You know what I mean? I think there's mad respect too for all the other players that all the other tennis players that were like, hey, we got your back. That's pretty cool. If anything else, it made the French Open look bad. Just by them. It seemed like they were just harassing her about it. It was like, oh, yeah, well, Marshawn Lynch was fined $100,000 for not talking to the press. Causes I would pay Jen Psaki to not do a press conference.
He has a valid point there.
Ready to fight tonight. Your cabman voice. One call. That's it. You'll lawyer up. That's a good point, Pip. Oh, I'm pretty sure that the players, probably stepped in and say, hey, look, whatever. Or wouldn't that have been cool if like the players would have said, hey, we're not going to do this whole fucking thing at all. We're just not going to do it. Fuck it.
Like they all go on strike.
Yeah, or something like that. You know what I mean? But so that's the story of Naomi Osaka. She's a badass fucking tennis player too, man. To get to that level too, she's like I said, she's just a badass tennis player. Mad respect. But again, mad respect to all the other players too that supported her. I think that's awesome. So let's see, what's the the big one right now? Because I know freaking Flash would be like poking at me to talk about this. Was the fight? Did you see the fight?
No, I did not.
The Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul fight. Ready to fight tonight? Fight. So I guess it was one of those. Everyone was kind of like talking crap. If you guys saw the fight, make your comments, and I want to see the comments so that way I can read them off.
Or have them call in.
So
give us the highlight.
So hang on. Someone's like, so the beards for COVID are true? My friend, that was a Duffel Blog post. If you've not known what Duffel Blog is, the beards for COVID are true. Gotcha. I go ahead and suggest that you go ahead and check out Duffel Blog, your true military satire source for all things of funny, joking, satirical excellence. Oh man! So back to the fight. Mayweather said that he was impressed with his ability to pose in the post-fight interview. Yes, I did see the post-fight interview. Mayweather has a newfound respect for Paul. You know, everyone's like, is he? Everyone called it like a freak show, like it was like a disrespect to boxing.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, he was Logan Paul was calling on Mayweather a pipsqueak and talking trash and just like straight up. It's just kind of like, you know, it's just I will kill you. Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul talks about all this shit. He's making all this jokes and shit and talking crap back in the day about this fight. Round by round though, I don't know. Did they? Who? Well, I want to say, I'll just go ahead and just have the audience tell me. Who'd you guys think won the fight? Did you guys think they won the fight by points or something like that, or how do you think it should have went? Everybody looking at me right now going, I still think Paul's a clown.
I'm trying to look up to see how many rounds they had. 8 rounds. Right?
Yeah, they had 8 rounds. So they had 8 rounds. And then round 1, of course, Paul was all, smiling and whatever before a single round was thrown, and then just kind of like feeling each other out, and then he was flicking out some jabs and stuff like that. So MMA Fighting, using MMA Fighting, their website, and they said they scored the round 10-9 Mayweather. Round 2, again, there were all just a bunch of jabbing and stuff like that, slipping punches. Mayweather has a smirk on his face, the standard boxing, whatever. They did Mayweather overall 29-18 Mayweather. So that's the scores the round. 10-9 Mayweather overall, 30-27 Mayweather for round 3, and 10-9. I guess I don't know what the scores around 10-9 mean, but I don't know boxing scores. Overall 40-36 Mayweather. Round 5, 50-45 Mayweather. 60-54 Mayweather for round 6, and then round 7, 70-63 Mayweather. And then overall 80-72 for the last round in favor of Mayweather. So this being an exhibition, there was no official winner. So
no official winner, so it's just a draw then.
I guess. I think exactly that, Stephen. I think that exactly that 2 costs. They both got paid. I guess there was big, some was it Mayweather should have dropped him. So you think everyone's saying it was fixed? Ooh, that's a good claim. Staged, no way. Mayweather didn't get knocked out. Bring back Iron Mike. I think Logan should fight Iron Mike. I think him and Tyson that would be a good fight. It was all hype and money. Man, I know. Could you imagine? I'd throw some hands with somebody for some hype and money. I wonder how many got paid. What was the? You guys know what the purse was? Who got paid what? Who made the money on this? Let's see. Let's Google ups. Prize money. There had to have been some prize money in this. I mean, come on, dude.
There's always money.
So it hasn't been announced exactly, because I just looked up right now with some Bleach Report and some articles that projected that Paul should earn about $20 million, and more than likely Mayweather is likely to earn $102 million. $102 million, man. Dude, I'd talk shit for a fist fight right quick for $20 million myself. Holy shit. All that cash. Could you imagine getting knocked out? Great fight. Yeah, great fight. More than my $20 million. Yeah, but you said you wanted to look up to me. I always said that so I can get the money. Well, how much did I make? Sorry, Ice, because nobody knows who the hell you are. You only made like $5 million. I'm good with that. You know, I'm gonna go find my face. I want to see. I'm gonna see him fight Mike Tyson. I want to see him fight Mike Tyson. And then that Logan Paul and Mike Tyson, that would be a good fight too. We should just hype it up. Just start talking shit, saying it's gonna happen or something like that. I don't want Iron Mike to come after me though. Well, who you talking shit? You know what I mean?
True.
Nope. I'll leave those beefs alone. But anyways, okay. Let's see. What was the next? So that was I can totally tell nobody was really interested. Simone Biles made gymnastic history again. I know Flash is probably like shaking right now because I'm not doing this fucking sports page right. Oh man, breaks records. If you guys watch the gymnastics competition, man, I'm telling you what, I saw it on TV and just flipping channels. It was like on Sunday or something like that. Holy crap! Well, no, it was on Saturday. It broke records. Broke freaking records again. So on Sunday, no, it was on Sunday. She scored 119.65 points in the gymnastics championships at Fort Worth, edging out runner-up Sunisa Lee by 4.7 points to secure lucky number 7. Four-time Olympic champion began the 4-day competition with a 15.800 score on a vault in the first rotation on Friday. Then on Sunday, she totaled 60.100 points all on the all-around, scoring at least 14.700 in every event. Look her up, Simone Biles, and you'll see all the what gymnasts can do. It's inhuman. It's almost like superhero shit.
True.
It's incredible. People said that she spends more time in the air than on the ground. So, anyways, so that's a congrats to her too. That's awesome. And she's like, from what I'm hearing, she's like totally cool about it too. She's a real down to earth individual. So, congrats to her. Now, on this last one before we go ahead and finish up. You guys know who Britt Reed is? Do you know who Britt Reed is?
Britt Reed?
Britt Reed.
Oh.
Britt Reed.
Trying to think here.
Britt Reed.
Britt
Reed is the son of the Kansas City Chiefs coach Andy Reid, and got involved in a bad fucking wreck, drinking and driving. Bad. I mean, real bad, to the point where the little girl got really fucked up in the accident. According to the girl's family, she remains still in the hospital, showing signs of improvement, but still has a long road to recovery. So investigators has told him that he had taken Adderall and drank before getting behind the wheel. And of course, they added in the court documents that he did not perform well during field sobriety tests. He's charged with felony DUI. However, he got to walk. He's able to drive again. This is what pisses me off, man. If you know somebody, it just seems like you're just gonna get away with shit. It just seems like it's because he is the son of the Kansas City of an NFL coach. He's going to just walk for this shit. It's fucking frustrating, man. I was reading this stuff and I was like, trying to be cool about it, trying to be emotional about it and all this other stuff, but yeah, it's straight BS. Straight BS.
He better not walk.
Well, he pleads not guilty to the charges from the crash that injured the little girl, right? And so when that happened, then he pleaded not guilty and will be able to drive after he was involved in a crash that obviously injured the girl. So he appeared in court virtually today to enter his not guilty plea, and will be driving using the interlock device, which works like a breathalyzer. So he's got to blow into the vehicle to start the car, and then his next court appearance scheduled for late July. So the crash that happened on the I-435 on-ramp left a 5-year-old girl with traumatic brain injury. Charging documents revealed that he was traveling 84 miles an hour just seconds before the crash, and he had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.113.
Wow.
To be able to drive. You know, I don't know anybody else that would get in trouble like that would be in jail. Still sitting in jail waiting for this stuff. Exactly that, Gary. Money and influence. Because I know people. It's just fucking infuriating, dude. There's been some public outcry already about it, and again, it's like, damn, dude, you freaking really. Yeah, when you got that act.
Do you know, and how much money you got?
Right, dude. That's exactly what it's like. It's like if it had been like me or you or something like that, we probably would have been, man. We would have been busted. We would have been thrown in jail. We would have had our licenses revoked. Gary says exactly that. Exactly that. Should be buried under the jail. Should be staying under the jail until he's charged. I mean, filing a not guilty. You're gonna plead not guilty when everybody knows that you freaking did it.
Yep.
This makes me not want to man, it's like freaking. I know it's not the Chiefs' fault. Can't blame the Chiefs for something that, the assistant coach. I guess he was assistant coach. But, he's the son of an NFL coach. You know what I mean? So that kind of plays into it. Obviously, he's getting away with it, and the judge sealed the report as well. He's facing 7 years for a DUI charge. So is it enough? Is it enough when you physically, if you get busted for DUI, you get busted for DUI. You get busted for DUI. You know what I'm saying? You got busted, and obviously escalating the sentence. But when you get involved in a wreck and you hurt somebody, that's a different story, man.
Definitely.
That's a different story. This is how safety briefs are made. They're just freaking frustrating, man, to see this shit. Because then you're like, oh, okay, so then that means the Kansas laws when it comes to DUI, if you know somebody, if you're popular or you're famous, you're just not going to get, you're not going to get the same equal amount of justice. This is the equity and justice right here. Wonder what would happen if he wasn't. I mean, they already got pretty bad domestic violence laws already there anyway, so I wonder what would happen if he, because the little girl, man, that's just crazy, dude. 5-year-old girl. I would, man, I would be like, the judge would be like, sir, what are you doing here? I'm here to turn myself in. Why are you turning yourself in? Because if he's out in the street, I'm gonna beat that ass. Never taunt an individual who doesn't fear prison. You know what I mean? You do something to my kid, man. I'm telling you, man. That there is no nope. Exactly that, Pips. It's you like your license too much. It's just one of those things, man. But like I said, the guy was on Adderall and he was drinking and he fucking, injured. Lucky the kid didn't get killed. I mean, I'm not saying it's not bad that she suffered those injuries, but still, man. But anyways, exactly that, Chris. Money talks. One for the filthy rich and famous, and the other for the common people, man. I'm telling you, man. You're right there on the head. So, anywho, yeah, that's it. That was. I didn't want to bring the somber ass, page, freaking sports page and shit. But yeah, let's go ahead and do some housekeeping, man. I think let's see. Let me see. Let me see. Well, look at some cut sheets we got here. I'm gonna make sure we're good to go. So tomorrow, you guys know that throughout the Memorial Day weekend, from the 26th of May up until June, the beginning of June, we had a movie that was limited screen. That was Scott Mann, and directed and written and created by Scott Mann. The movie Last Out, Elegy of a Green Beret. If y'all didn't see it, don't worry, it'll come back out again. But if you were able to catch the limited release, man, whew, the feels, man, the feels. Retired Green Beret turned playwright Scott Mann knows what it's like to struggle with returning home from combat and leaving the military. He's learned to overcome that struggle by sharing his story. His play, Last Out Elegy of a Green Beret, and film brought the realities of life in the military to the audiences across the country, and a schedule, and it had the limited release. This is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna explode, man. I think it's awesome. I think it was. Oh yeah, it's just crazy how much it just touched everybody. On the 22nd, we have Rob Paulson. He's a voice actor who will be on Pop Culture Warrior to talk about his experience in voice acting. His work is dude, come on, man. He's Raphael and Donatello from the 1987 and 2012, respectively, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yakko Warner, Dr. Otto's Scratch and Sniff, and Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius and its spin-off series, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. Peck the Rooster from Barnyard and the spin-off television series Back at the Barnyard. Spike in the Land Before Time films and in the television series, and the title character in The Mask. In total, he has been on 250 different animated characters and performed in over 1,000 commercials. Received a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Performer in an Animated Program and 3 Annie Awards for his role as Pinky. That's so cool.
That's going to be a good one.
It is. So Rodney Henry is going to be on the 25th of June, which is Friday Night Freedom, and he's going to be on to talk about the Freedom Fest 2021 on July 3rd and 4th that is scheduled to happen in New Richmond, Ohio. He will talk about how COVID affected the cancellation of 2020's event and how it'll affect 2021's event and how things are starting to get back to normal. One of the important milestones is on this year's Freedom Fest is that it'll also be the celebration of VFW Fred Calloway Post's 6770 75th anniversary. And then on the 28th of June, Darian Lay, she's going to join me and Mom, because Mom will be back by then, to talk about her latest single, 10,000 Miles, which tells the tale of military households and loved ones across the nation, derived from her own experience. Man, it's gonna be pretty good. Can't wait. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be kind of be some packed guests for June. July's gonna get bigger too, man. I can't wait for the guests in July. This is Monday edition with me, Ice, and Flash will be on here, but Flash is on assignment, and so normally it's going to be, I don't know, it could be Mom, it could be Shipwreck, it could be, could be Cause as well, it could be another host, and then Tuesday is the Pop Culture War with Mike Gottaschio, also known as CQ, with of course his sidekick, the unpop cultured Radar.
You know he's going to call you up after.
On Tuesday. And then Wednesday's a day off. And then Thursday is, of course, Sergeant's Time with myself and my teammate, Spanky, Haas, and Pookie. Every night at 2000. We try to make it at 2000, which is 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, we got a guest. The show will be like normally 2.5 hours. If you don't have a guest, it's only a 2-hour show. Shooting the shit. But don't forget you can download any of the podcasts, any of the shows afterwards. If you didn't catch us live on the TuneIn app, but we also have Google Play and Apple Podcasts, so you can listen there as well. Other than that, thank y'all. Yeah, she does stay in it. Spanky does stay in the S1 chats big time, man. You have no idea. But thank you guys and gals for joining us. Hey, thanks, Shit Rep, for hanging out.
No problem.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, so don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Pop Culture War. See y'all later. Shouts.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
fate upon their shoulders. It's a daunting task to relentless fields amid conquest of the last frontier. Now here we are enlisted for the glory of our nation. To say that we're the best would be an under-exaggeration. Prepared for combat with an alien race to kick their asses right in the face. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. They say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport now, sit back, relax, and watch us through the Hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planet of America. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now we'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. Though critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, dum, dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, dum, 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 dum. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Space Force.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.